the recount process for town elections would involve a town candidate requesting a recount. Any candidate that's on the ballot can request a recount. They have to put their request in writing. Once a request is received, town clerk or the school clerk would have to notify all of the candidates that are involved in that race that a recount request has been received, and they would schedule the recount. The recount can occur not earlier than 5 days, but not later than 10 days after the request is received. Depending on the percentage of votes, the percentage between what they lost by, there's a sliding scale for a recount fee. So if they lost by, if the difference was less than 1%, the recount fee is $10. If it's less than 2%, it's $20. Between 2 and 3% is $40, and they would pay that fee. Candidates can attend the recount, all candidates. It's open to the public, and candidates can have observers, one observer for each team of counters that are counting. Everything is done in public view. When a recount is requested and takes place, all of those ballots have to come from the secure location, again, under secured control. We usually have a police officer escorting us with the ballots to the recount site, and a police officer is on site throughout the entire recount process, ensuring that there's nothing going on and the ballots are secure. We have to publicly break the seals on the boxes. So in that case, the public can see that the boxes are still sealed from election night. There's no tampering going on, if you will, and we have to examine the boxes, make sure all the seals are intact, and publicly break those seals. Once that's done, then the recount process is a manual process. There's a big misconception that during a recount process, the ballots are just run through the machines again, and that's not correct. In New Hampshire, it's a manual hand count process where we actually look at every ballot and count every ballot by hand. The Board of Recount reviews each ballot individually to determine the voter's intent. For instance, a lot of voters don't realize that if they make a mistake on a ballot, and this is where we try to educate them, if it's a vote for one situation and they fill in the oval for a candidate and they say, oh, I don't want to vote for that candidate, I made a mistake, they exit out and then they vote for the candidate they want. Unfortunately, the machine doesn't determine voter intent. It's picking up marks on a ballot. If they had put that ballot into the machine would have counted it as an overvote because there was a mark in both of those circles. During the recount process, the Board of Recount can examine that and determine what the voter's intent was. If it's very clear, okay, they crossed this out or they wrote no next to it, we know they don't want to vote for that candidate, and that's how sometimes the numbers change during a recount. Although they don't usually change significantly enough to change the outcome, they do change by a couple of votes here and there because of voter intent.
I have 3 questionable ones here. The first one, they were both circled in. They're both circled in, but George has been crossed off. This is a vote for Swanger. Anybody disagree? Okay.
If there was a question of a ballot, a question about a vote, the Board of Recount, which consists of the moderator, the school or town clerk, and the school board, makes a determination as to what the voter intent is. We all examine the ballot and decide, is it a valid vote, is it an invalid vote, and there has to be agreement on what the voter intent was.
This one, filled in, drew a circle around it. To me, that's a vote for Markwell. Anybody disagree? I have one other one. You're going to have to look very closely. There is a very faint mark in the top bullet. Conceivably, the machine might have picked this up. I doubt it, but it could have. To me, this is not a vote.
Exactly.
Anybody disagree?